Hi guys, so I am back in Dallas. I got here yesterday. I drove 12 hours from Iowa, so I'm pretty tired, but I am going to look at an apartment in about an hour. And I have one viewing today, one tomorrow, and then 4 on Sunday. Or 4 on Monday, it's Saturday. So this is part 2 of my Dallas apartment search, and now we're more in a crunch. We have an Airbnb booked for the next week, and if we don't find something in a week, we'll probably extend the Airbnb or book another one. But hoping to find something soon and basically apply Monday or Tuesday. So right now I'm going to an area that I haven't been before, which is sort of northwest Dallas, and looking at an apartment there that's a little bit less than the other ones I looked at, just to get a sense if it's a good area and how much we might be able to save on rent, because the goal is really to save this year and hopefully buy a home soon. So yeah, we're gonna go check it out. And ignore the fact that I have a shit ton of stuff in my car because yeah, we're moving. So basically the car is completely packed, and so is the storage unit, which will be shipped from LA to Dallas hopefully in the next few weeks. So that one bedroom that I saw was not that nice. She showed me the 2-bedroom that was staged, and the staging makes it look really nice, but she wouldn't show me the apartment that's actually available. So I feel like that's a pretty big red flag. She said that they have people apply, and then once they are accepted, then they clean it up and renovate it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna apply for an apartment that I can't see. So this is probably a no. This is Sofia and Loren. The pricing's pretty good. They have a pool, but that's the only amenities, and a lot of the units don't have laundry. They may have a laundry hookup, but then you have to rent a washer and dryer, which just seems like a major pain. It also seemed like she wasn't very enthused about me living there. So I think what I'm finding here is you really get what you pay for, and I do think it's worth paying another $100-200 a month to get a place that's a lot nicer, where people are accommodating and very kind. I think that's important because if anything goes wrong in an apartment and you need it fixed right away. So you need a landlord that is responsive. So this is an apartment that I showed in my last video. I had gone to see it without my partner, my boyfriend, so I brought him along because it is one of the ones that I liked, and they had a pretty good deal for move-in. I think it was like a month and a half or 2 months free. And it was a quiet building, and I did like that it was a little bit loft style with that metal piping going through the living room. But unfortunately, or fortunately, he really didn't like it, so at least we went to go see it, but this one ended up being a no-go just because he didn't like the location and didn't really like the building all that much. I think that the units are nice, but I do agree with him that the actual building is a little strange. They have concrete floors and it doesn't really feel that homey when you are walking to your own unit. However, they have a pool, they have a gym, they have, you know, a nice rooftop and amenities. So if we didn't find the one that we ended up going with, I think that this probably would have been a good candidate. And I wanted to show you guys again because some people had been complaining in my last video that they were dizzy from watching, and to be honest with you, I think I just had a little too much coffee in the last video and was speeding through. But yeah, we looked at a few different units in this building, all 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, and they have different finish styles. So they have a darker one, which is right here, and the lighter one I just showed. So this apartment building, we really liked the location of. You would have been able to walk to Deep Ellum, and that's part of what had brought us in to see it. And we looked at a few different 2-bedroom units. They had some different layouts, and it's a 2-story building. They also had a move-in special, and it was a little bit less expensive than some of the other ones that we looked at. However, I felt like it was just way too dark in there. We looked on kind of a cloudy day, but additionally there just wasn't enough light coming in from the windows. I'm not very fond of these really dark finishes. I like a lot of light coming into the room. Also, I just don't really like carpet that much. The fireplace was nice. There was definitely enough storage. I liked that the bedrooms were not right next to each other. They had washer and dryer in unit, which was great. And the location was really a plus, but the apartment itself, I just wasn't fond of. So we nixed this one. So this was one of the Camden apartments. This was Camden Belmont, which is close to Lower Greenville and to Henderson Knox. I think you could probably walk to both areas from here within like 15-20 minutes. So I really liked the location of this, and at this point I was getting pretty tired of looking at apartments. But this one was very nice. I just didn't love the carpet and didn't love the first floor unit being right across from the CVS. This one was also more expensive. I think that it started around $1,900, and part of our reason for moving to Dallas was to save more money. So some of the other apartments had better move-in specials, and this one I don't think had a move-in special at all. I did like that the bathroom was very spacious. There was a lot of storage. I really like having the double sink. For me, I love having my own sink. This is something new other than when I was living alone. And they had a big walk-in closet. So like I said, plenty of storage space, and that was definitely a plus. So this is ultimately the apartment building that we ended up going with. This is not the exact unit. And this was actually one of the first ones that we looked at, but they didn't tell us there were other units available. So I didn't like that this was on the first floor and it was outward facing to a busy road. And we found out almost a week later when we went back and looked at their site that they had other units available on different floors and in different areas of the building in different positions, facing inside and outside as well. So unfortunately, we looked at all the other apartments before going with this one. But you know, it is nice. It has 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's pretty spacious and plenty of storage space, as you can see here. They also have a gym and a pool and some other amenities, and there's a washer and dryer in the unit. So ended up being very happy with what we chose. It just was a bit of a roundabout process to get there and had to look at quite a few apartments before we found one that we really liked. Hi guys, so I am in Dallas in my new apartment. I will give you a tour at some point once I get a little bit more settled and everything is set up. But it's been about 3 weeks and so far we're really enjoying it. Enjoying the location, the gym, the amenities, not the pool yet because it's cold and gray. Been very gray lately here. So that's taking some adjustment. But I wanted to talk more about the apartments that I showed you and the process of finding an apartment. So I looked at about 10 apartments, and there were some that I looked at in October. If you haven't watched the first apartment search video, I recommend taking a look at that one. There's some other apartments, some units and buildings in there as well. So between October and looking in December and early January, looked at about 10 different apartment buildings. And what I found in Dallas is you really get what you pay for. I said in the beginning of this video that it was more worth it to me to pay an extra $100 or $200 a month because some of the apartments that I was looking at were like $1,350, $1,400, and then if you make the jump up to like $1,600, $1,700, you get all the amenities, you get a much nicer apartment, much more spacious, renovated, you know, newer, to me, in a better location, and to me that is worth it. I think you have to weigh the pros and cons and see what your priorities are, of course what your budget is, and really what makes sense for your lifestyle. Gas is expensive, so I know for me, I would rather live closer to downtown, to the area that I'm going to access frequently, than be spending that 30-minute hour commute in the car and paying for gas. My time is very important to me, and I've lived about 30 minutes out from a city before, and the amount of time that I spend and the gas that I spend, now that gas is expensive, just isn't worth it for me to justify saving like $100 or $200 a month, because I end up losing that in the amount of time driving and the gas money. But you know, if you're working in North Dallas and you want to live close to work and you can save that $200 a month and live in a, you know, a great building that's close to work, then that works out. So it just depends on what your priorities are. I would say if you are moving here, you definitely need some time to search. It did take us about a week and a half, probably, with all the searching to find something that we liked. And then once we applied, we needed to wait another week until we were approved, which was a much longer process than I'm used to. But I guess they really do their due diligence here. Another thing is that a lot of the luxury buildings here have an admin fee, which is something that I had never heard about before. And the admin fee ranges from, I'd say, like $150 to $300. And that was something that really shocked me when I first heard it. They were like, oh, the application fee is this much, 75 to like 100 per person usually. And then the admin fee is another 150 to 300 on top of that. And I was like, admin fee, what are you talking about? But I guess that's a fairly normal thing in the Dallas area for these kinds of apartments. They do run specials in a lot of these buildings, which is, you know, an application fee waived, the admin fee waived, and maybe like a month or 2 months free rent. Sometimes that's on top of at least a 12-month lease or a 13-month lease or a 14-month lease. So you need to ask those details or definitely read the fine print when they are making you those offers. All in all, I think that finding an apartment is always kind of a bit of a frustrating process, especially when you're in quite a time crunch like we were. But there's a lot of good options in Dallas, and I think that if you're moving here or searching for a new apartment, there's a lot of options to be able to find something that's within your budget that you will feel comfortable in. So I hope this video really helps. Give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.